Hey, what's going on out there? I would like to welcome every single one of you to Water Your Soil. So before I get into this video, I would like to say, if you're new around here, I have two rules over at this channel. The first rule is for you to always use your own discretion when it comes to credit cards and credit scores. The second rule, that's for you to always verify whatever it is you learn, whether it's here on this channel, another channel, or anywhere. That should be a rule to life. So getting into the video, this is going to be a news article, and this is going to be news that all of you need to see. Every single one of you need to see. And the way how the news works on this channel is I'll read through parts of the article or the full article. In this case, I'm going to read through parts of it, the most important part, and then I'll post a link to the article in the description box so you all can read the rest of the article. But there are some important pieces to this article that I want you all to know. It's imperative that you know, because there's a lot of misinformation that has been going around, whether it be on YouTube, TikTok, everywhere. There has been misinformation floating around regarding this topic. But before I even get on that, I would like to say some things. I'm from the east side of Buffalo, New York, and I grew up in a very impoverished part of Buffalo. I'm from one of the poorest zip codes in Buffalo, New York. Not only that, two of my childhood homes don't even exist anymore. You know how people, they'll get older and they'll go back and they'll visit their childhood home and they'll walk through the home. Hey, look, this is my bedroom. This is where I used to sleep and things like that. Well, I can't even do that. For my two childhood homes, I will have to go back and take a photo in front of a vacant lot. But I tell you all that for a reason. Number one, to give you a little insight on where I come from. And number two, I look at it as a privilege to be on here sharing information with you all because of where I come from. And as I always tell you all, I didn't have access to this type of information. They weren't teaching us this in school. You figure we were learning about math and social studies and things like that, but we weren't learning about personal finance. So the fact that I'm able to come on here and speak to people that I probably would have never came across had it not been for YouTube is a privilege. And I like to take advantage of that privilege, which is why I come on here sharing information, and which is why I'm serious about you all getting the right information. That way it can help you in the present and in the future. Let's get right into the article, all right? So the article is by USA Today. It came out February 21st, 2025. And the article reads, "No more consumer protection? What the CFPB shutdown means for you." Now, I think everyone knows by the title what this is about. This is about the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and it has been a lot of talk going around. I recently had a video that did close to 205,000 views. It went viral, and I made a response to a comment where I said maybe the CFPB would look into what they were mentioning on my comment in the comment section. And someone came by and they said, hey, the CFPB is shut down. That's misinformation. And this is before the reports had even came out that they were considering shutting down the CFPB. This is back when President Trump actually appointed someone new to be in charge of the CFPB. This is even before Elon Musk went on X and said, you know, basically that he's getting rid of the CFPB. So we got to be careful with the information that's out there. The CFPB is still around. It may be hanging on by a thread, but it's still around, and that's what we're going to talk about. And it's important for you all to know what's going on, because I have been seeing so many people going on other people's comments, going on YouTube, Instagram, X, wherever, and they're basically saying, hey, the CFPB is done forever. And I don't want you all thinking that, because right now it's not true. So let's get further into it. It says, in the 1 months of the Biden administration, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or the CFPB, released a flurry of new consumer protection rules, targeting everything from bank overdraft fees and credit card late fees to old medical debt on credit reports. If the Democrats had fared better at the polls, then some of the rules might have taken effect by now. As it stands, the consumer agency itself is in limbo. New President Donald Trump fired CFPB Director Rohit Chopra and installed the acting director Russell Vought, who ordered the agency to halt its work and shut its doors. Elon Musk, the billionaire tasked with slashing beltway budgets, broadcast Trump's apparent intentions and his own in a February 7th tweet that read CFPB RIP along with a tombstone emoji. Trump has nominated Jonathan McKernan, a former Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation board member, as a new permanent head of the Consumer Watchdog Group, but it remains to be seen what sort of agency McKernan might inherit. Both CFPB initiatives have obvious consumer appeal. Credit card customers would probably welcome lower late payment fees, but the financial industry has sued to block many of the rules, saying they might actually do more harm than good. A cap on overdraft fees, for example, could prompt the bank to stop protecting customers against overdrafts. It says, quote unquote, "You have to think, one way or another, these things will wind up in front of the Supreme Court," said Mark Hamrick, senior economic analyst at Bankrate, the personal finance site. So the CFPB is still around. President Trump appointed someone new to be head of it. So we're going to see where things go. But as of this moment, the CFPB is still around. Now, I came across two different sides of people when it comes to the CFPB. It's kind of polarizing, honestly, because you have people who are for the CFPB and you have people who are against it. All of you out there who are bad with managing credit cards, which seems to be a lot of people because credit card debt, as I always state, is over $1.21 trillion right now. But as I always state, a lot of people carry over balances. A lot of people are late with paying off their credit cards. A lot of people can benefit from many of the things that the CFPB protect against and stand for. However, if you are someone who does things the correct way, meaning you pay on time, you pay your balances off in full, you'll be fine whether there is a CFPB or not. Because if you're doing those things and you're paying what you spend and you're paying on time, you're more than likely not going to need someone to step in and help you when it comes to overdraft fees and late fees and putting a cap on interest. Because why would you even care about interest and you pay your balances off in full? The interest rate is irrelevant to you if you're someone who pay your balance off in full every month. Now, some of you out there, you may argue like, hey, you could fall on hard times where you'll need to carry over balances. And that's very true. That's something to consider. However, I like to teach people to practice discipline with these credit cards, and I've told people multiple times in the past, do not depend on what happens when it comes to them trying to cap fees and things like that. Just handle what you can handle. Control what you can control. And what you can control is what you're spending, how much you're spending, paying on time, and paying it off in full. And you know, a lot of people don't want to do that. People want to carry over balances, and people want to go and they want to be late. People come by here all the time and they say things like, hey, you know, I have to carry over balances because I'm using my credit card to get by and to survive. I said it once and I'll continue to say it. If you cannot afford to purchase things, if you know you're not going to be able to pay back whatever you spend when you receive that bill, do not purchase it with a credit card. And a lot of you, you're going to say, hey, well, that's what the credit card is for. The credit card is an extra form of spending that I could use. And in reality, it's not. A credit card to me is a 30-day loan. Basically something that I know I need to pay back in full whenever they bill me for it. I don't believe in carrying over balances because I don't want to pay these banks interest. There's nothing cool about giving the bank extra money when I only use the specific amount. I'm not a fan of that. Now, some of you are, and I really understand where some of you are coming from. However, I have to teach people over here the correct way. Number one, it's a way that helps improve their credit score and increase their credit score because they cut down on the debt that they have. And it's also a way to help people avoid paying these banks extra money. As I always state, you know, whether they keep the CFPB around or not, the moment you start digging in these banks' pockets, whether you're capping fees or you're capping interest, or whatever it may be, they are going to find a way to make money. And I have done numerous videos on this in the past because there have been articles that I previously featured in relation to the CFPB and them suing banks and credit card companies. But I keep telling you all, if you hit a bank one way, they're going to get their money back on the back end because it's about profit. And people, they could come in the comment section and they could argue me down, but I'm just a messenger. This is what happens. I'm a big fan of living in reality. Being delusional about what's going on doesn't tend to work in my favor, and it just upsets me in the end. So what I choose to do is understand that if the banks do get hit in their pocket by them capping fees and capping late fees and the things that the CFPB and even some of these politicians were planning on doing, the banks are still going to make their profit back in return. And that's just the reality of this thing. And we could get mad and we could argue and we can complain about how unfair it seems to be, but it's the reality. And that's what I always try to keep you all like in a reality mindset of what's really going on. You know, it's interesting because I did a poll and the poll came out the other day. I was asking people if the United States should get rid of credit scores. And so far, a majority of the people are saying no. But it's getting close to being a tie as far as the opinions. I want more of you to participate in that poll. It's up right now on my post tab. So check out the post tab and participate. I want you all to participate because a lot of you come by and you say, oh, credit scores are bad and they're unfair. You all should be taking part in that poll and stating your opinion. But we have people who don't want to live in reality, and we have people who live in reality. And I think it's showing up in the poll with people saying, hey, I think we should keep credit scoring around, but maybe they just might want to make some adjustments to it. But for the most part, if you're someone with a good or excellent credit score, you're going to be pro credit scores. And that's just how this thing works. So participate in that poll whenever you're done watching this video. Of course, I want you all to finish reading the rest of the article because I didn't finish reading the rest of the article and there are some good pieces in there. But I just wanted to let you all know that yes, the CFPB is still around. Ignore the rumors, ignore the misinformation. It's still around. It may be hanging on by a thread, but it's currently still around. And I don't want you all going around and saying, hey, there is no more CFPB, because it is. And this is what I mean about misinformation and spreading information. It's easy to spread, but I wanted you all to know the truth. That's why I said, hey, it's imperative for all of you to know this because some people don't. And there has been comments in my comment section of people obviously not knowing this. But anyways, if you're new around here and you're feeling the vibe, this is Water Your Soil. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on all notifications. That way you don't miss a future video because I post often. That's clicking on that bell and selecting all. Also, this goes to every single one of you that's watching right now. Be sure to hit the like button. That goes for my subscribers included. Hit the like button. That's your way of showing support for this channel. It also let the algorithm know that you support this video. I appreciate every single one of you for taking out the time to watch this video. Be sure to participate in my poll. And be sure to check out the article too. Inform yourself. Send it to your relatives. Send this video to your relatives. Send it to your friends as well so they'll know. But anyways, this is Water Your Soil. I appreciate you all for watching. And I'm out. What's going on? This is Nell from Water Your Soil. So as someone who went from a 549 credit score all the way up to the 800s, I decided to share the same information that helped me go from poor credit to excellent credit. This book is titled Strategies to Master Credit. I put everything in this book, everything that helped me go from poor credit to excellent credit. All of the information is in this book. So I want you all to purchase this book. A lot of you have already purchased it, but it's available currently right now on Amazon.com and also MasterCreditBook.com. It's titled Strategies to Master Credit. You want this book. It has all the information needed in order for you to go from poor credit to excellent credit or just simply maintain your good or excellent credit score. So get the book ASAP. And if you want something more in depth, you could take the course over at www.wateryoursoil.com. It's more in depth. There are actually chapters in this course, and it walks you through basically how FICO credit scores come about and how they're determined. And really, once you learn how FICO scores come about and the concept of credit scores, then you're pretty much on your way to either going from poor credit to good credit or just maintaining a good or excellent credit score. So if you want something more in depth, I have the course over at www.wateryoursoil.com. All right.